Hello everybody, welcome back to Tyranny. We are back at Iron Hearth to report in with Graven Ash. Let's do it. The great keep of Sentinel Stand is ours. Oh, how I will relish tearing down every vestige of the unbroken and bearing the standard of that corrupt realm. This is a great victory for the disfavored. What's more, we are delivered from the Edict of Storms. My runners speak of you in glowing terms, though I instructed them specifically not to report on your deeds in too much detail. I wanted to hear it from no one but the source. I would know more about how it felt to stand in the center of the storm as the Overlord's magic dissolved around you. You must be weird from your travels. I mean, let's go over my success at the Sentinel Stand. We'll get to Emilia in a second. Also, as you might be able to hear, I have a nasty cold. But I'm powering through. I want to give you guys some content. The Seed of Regents and the Tarnished Gem of Stalwarts. I have anticipated this. So tell me, what do you have to report? Herodin is dead. That is gratifying to hear. The coward spent too long crouched behind the walls of Sentinel Stand, and deserved none of Kyros' mercy. The Regent family was an inbred and corrupt line of failed rulers. They had neither the courage nor the grit to lead their realm to prosperity, as they had demonstrated. Stalwart is much improved by their absence. We ended the Edict of Storms, and I have breathed fresh air for the first time since I returned to Iron Hearth. You managed to accomplish what my forces could not. More importantly, you have abated Kyros' anger for the time being. With the great stalemate of the conquest ended, surely we have earned the favor of Tunon and Kyros alike. Every deed you accomplish in the name of the disfavored proves our right to rule these lands. I mean, I'm not really yours to command. How did it feel? I mean, it felt like breaking a spell, less like breaking a spell, and more like absorbing it. Give me all that power. A strange distinction. I would offer you some comforting assurance that this will pass, but that would be an empty promise. Your actions at Vendry as well have caused us all to expect more than you were ever prepared to shoulder as a legal clerk. Living up to our admittedly high expectations will do more than merely get you through this war. There are greater things to come once the dust settles. Alright, what's the next step? Is there nothing else you wish to discuss? Nothing about my daughter? Do I want to rat her out? Let's talk about her first. You have seen her restored to my keeping. She is safe in Iron Hearth, and in spite of myself, I am pleased to have her home. She has taken to her quarters, and speaks not of what transpired during her long imprisonment. I have instructed her guard to offer space to rest and regain her strength, but so far she keeps to herself. She has not sought her father's counsel either. Say what you would then. I'm not sure I want to bring out the kid, even though he renounced his stuff, or his claim. I feel like Graven Ash might still just take care of it, which is kind of evil. She returned to Iron Hearth. Have you not spoken? Not but a short greeting. She took her meager belongings and fled to the castle with instruction that she not be disturbed. She looked well enough. Her armor was in decent repair, and she had only a bundle of clothes salvaged from the keep. Later, she summoned a trusted camp healer who reported her condition as fair. I cannot. No. The very idea repulses me beyond all measure. And you, Fatebinder, if you would bring slander and atrocity to this fort, then I will instruct Tunon to strike your head from your lawful neck. Do you hear me? Wait, what? Is he having some suspicions? Ash cuts off his speech and holds his rigid posture. Throughout the prolonged silence, you aren't sure if he plans on swinging his mace in a wide arc or simply exploding from the tension he fights to repress. A vein rises along the crest of his scalp, and slowly recedes as Ash calms his breathing. Speak no more of these lies. I won't have them poisoning the air of Ironhearth and the ears of my fellow countrymen. You're a fool if you think I'd believe such an obvious ruse. I mean, I didn't even say anything. I really didn't say anything. Why are you mad at me? So she didn't say anything about her situation. He holds your gaze with flat, even focus. Ash takes a deep breath through his nose, filling his lungs and swelling his chest until he has expanded significantly in your vision. When he releases the breath, it comes out deflated and resigned. By the Overlord's mercy, has there ever been a father more blind than me? The bundle, the healer, the sorrowful looks worn by her attending soldiers. Kyros' flames. But I should hurl her and that accursed creature from the rampart walls. Our family name, the very north, is degraded by her lechery. In time you could learn to forgive her. No, that is not possible, Fatebinder. When I look into her eyes, I will see only the vileness that she invited into her heart. The deception that her captors inflicted to twist my daughter into the disgrace she has become. The wretched girl is still a member of my legion, but she has broken our bond as surely as if she had killed me. I have lost my daughter, and she must learn to endure a general in her father's place. In spite of my temperament, you have done as I asked. Emilia has returned. The edict is ended. Perhaps I am too quick to blame you for the failings of my once noble house. A haunted expression overtakes the Archon, and the lines running down his face deepen with sorrow. It takes him several moments to blink again and shake himself back to his senses. First things first, my soldiers reported on your activities in the Blade Grave. They saw what happens when you broke the Edict of Storm. The power of this edict flowed through you like the wind. No one could account for it, but I have my suspicions. You are becoming powerful, perhaps in ways I don't even understand. There's a connection between edicts and what happened at Ascension Hall. I'm still putting the pieces together. I mean, when you look at the interface over at the Spire menu, there's like an overview of edicts that are currently available or are currently active. That makes me think that at some point in the game, I'm going to be able to cast my own edicts, right? That's what I'm getting. I appreciate your honesty and your introspection. Still, you walk a dangerous path. I would not want it to reflect poorly on the Legion. These are tools beyond the ken of people and Archons alike. Take care that you don't overstep your bounds. In Kyros' hierarchy, someone always notices. With that out of the way, let us return to the matter of the war. Our position in the tiers is strengthening by the day, but there is work still to be done. It is time to broaden our scope in this war. There are two regions of interest, and either of them would strengthen our bond on the realm. Levens Crossing is home to merchants and the skilled, forge-bound artisans. The Burning Library was the home of the all-knowing sages before Kyros reduced it to cinders. I want to go to Levens Crossing first, because I feel like there's going to be a lot of merchants, and maybe, I think there was a spire or two over there as well. So let's do that first. I'm sure there's going to be like magic and stuff to find at the Burning Library though. Since you were kind enough to leave the crossing in the hands of my legion after your stint as governor, I think you should find the settlement most accommodating. The Forge-bound are critical for keeping Kyros' forces armed, and we should work to shield them from the trials of this war. A Forge-bound master is making her way to Levens Crossing right now. Her name is Sedenia. It would be best to intercept her first. If we recognize the value of her and her fellow artisans, then others will inevitably arrive at the same conclusion. An elder lives in one of the settlement's meager hovels. Eldian they called him. He may know more about the region. What is it you require? I mean, I want to say farewell. I also noticed that we got a new missive. I think it's gonna be a reply from the one we sent a few episodes ago about our connection to the spires. Let's check it out. Yes, on the subject of the spires. Dear Kart, your summation is most fascinating. Thank you for sharing. You are certainly not the first to proclaim an edict. Many of us has been used to complete the casting of the Overlord's magic, and you aren't the first to break an edict, though that list of names is smaller, more exclusive list. What's curious though, living in a recorded memory, make no mention of someone who proclaimed and shattered the same edict. In that regard, you are an anomaly. The bad news is, the Archons know this, and will be suspicious of this distinction. Along with this parchment, I have included the contact information of the Honorable Fatebinder Myophis, an old peer of mine, and perhaps the most knowledgeable in the court on matters not taught to us by Tunon. Treat her with respect, and she will not betray your confidence. Best of luck, Kart. I think things are about to get even stranger for you. Fatebinder regardless. Alright. How do I... Do I have anything to reply? This missive is archived. Oh, there we go. Quill in hand, you loom over a blank sheet of parchment. You have Binder Myophis' contact information in hand and contemplate your opening words. I mean, didn't it say that I should treat her with respect? I feel like sending payment might be misconstrued. Maybe? I think a polite introduction might be better. What do you think? Although if I send payment, there might be like an extra bonus item or something. Like, thank you for this payment, but I don't need it. So here's a item from my collection. Maybe. Let's send some payment. Fatebinder Myophis. I'm Fatebinder Kart, and I'm currently serving in the tiers. I recently broke an edict of Kyros, and in roughly the same breath, awoke the latent energies in the mountain spire of the tiers. When I told my old mentor Regalis of these events, he insisted I contact you, hinting that your wisdom exceeds his own. If that's true, I'd be a fool not to heed the advice of someone more worldly than even Regalis. But I know knowledge is power, and power isn't free. I've enclosed a hand of rings as tuition and tribute, a paltry offering for a respected teacher, but it is a sizable sum to me. Thank you for your consideration. I eagerly await your reply. That sounds like a good, polite, respectful missive. Let's send it. Done. Also, we have some items to pick up. I also did some new crafting, as well as gave some new spells, because I talked to Eb off camera and got her to teach me the Tyranny school, and I also checked the vendor right over here, and he sold the Sigil of Stones, so that's pretty cool. So now we have a few more, and I also checked the library at the Spire, and he had a lot of accents to sell me, so I powered up a few of my spells. For example, I powered up the Frozen Grasp to do Marked, which lowers their defenses. I also powered up, I think it was Restoring Touch, so to do more healing. I think this one was more damage or something like that. Yeah.
No reason
Alright.
to tarry.
Let's head on over towards Levens Crossing. Now, where was I supposed to meet the master? Currently in Levens Crossing. That's fine. So the Burning Library is over here, and I also noticed this cacophony. So this is where Nerat seems to be holed up right now. Maybe we have to go through the Burning Library in order to get through here. Guess there's like a road here. There's also this spire over here. That might actually be a good thing to go for. Should we do that before we head to the Levens Crossing? Where is Levens Crossing? I mean, I feel like it should be... Do I have to go through Kato Village? Haven't I been in Kato Village before? I think we did. Or maybe we have to go through... Sunset Spire Levens Crossing. Yeah, let's go there. Ah, okay, so Levens Crossing is on the foot of the spire. Let's begin our journey. Through the Ocean Spire to the Mountain Spire, through Iron Hall Trail, and to Levens Crossing. Received a missive from Fatebinder in my office. Awesome. That was pretty quick. I mean, it took like 3 days to go here. Also, there's a lot of stuff to check out here. My dear Kart, and they say respect is for one's elders is a dying art form. I thank you kindly for the offering, as I've accounts to settle and grandchildren to spoil, and keeping a low profile isn't very profitable. So she liked that, that's great. I have enclosed something for you in return. I do so hate to let parchment collect dust and figure a younger mind could make use of some of the scrolls haunting my cabinets. Awesome! I am now the oldest of the court's children, and I've seen much in my time. It's probably for the best. Everyone assumes I'm old, harmless, and worth shuffling away in the archives. If I were scrutinized too closely, I'm sure Tunon would find I've grown lax in my spoiled old age. Part of why I am here, where I am, is that I've kept my head down. You appear to be doing the opposite. In some regards, this is beyond your control. You were chosen for the honor of proclaiming Kyros' edict, twice. To decline would have meant death, but to accept means to be placed on a stage for all to see. Kyros' most powerful weapon is not the edicts. It's her ability to hand us a rope that we willingly use to hang ourselves. Never forget this. There are numerous questions nestled in your request. What is it you wish to know most? Focus your inquiry, and I will answer as best I can. Do I want to ask about the edicts or the spires? I feel like they're uniquely connected. If I ask about an edict, maybe I'll get an edict on my own to enact. But if I ask about spire, maybe there's going to be like a bonus or something. Or a new merchant or something like that. Ask about the spires. It seems wise to know one's own domain, and seem as I'm now the master of the mountain spire, I ought to learn all that I can. If you would share with me what you know of the spires, I would be in your debt. And I have a cough coming on. Be right back. I'll start with what I know and have observed so far. The mountain spire seems to awaken at about the same instant that Kyros' edict of execution was put to rest. It was a burst of arcane energy that drowned out my senses, and I woke at the summit of the spire in what seemed to be just a few heartbeats of time. Atop the spire is an old sculpture of sorts, and it seems to be the core of the spire's mystic energy. I've been seeing visions and receiving sensations from the sculpture. It seems odd to describe as it is talking to me, but that seems the closest analogy. Am I the first to report such things? There are other spires elsewhere in the world, correct? Sounds good. Send it. Alright. Levens Crossing. Here we come. Visit the Forge. As you approach the entrance of Levens Crossing, you see two figures talking intently with each other. The one points north as she talks. I don't know if we can afford to stay here. The region is too unstable and our business is suffering because of it. And if I have to pay one more toll or hand over more guard money, I won't have two rings to rub together. But where will we go? There isn't a single place in the tiers that's safe. Then we should go to Sentinel Stand Keep. Rumor is the storms there have died down. How about... Fatebinder? You grace us with your presence. What seems to be the issue? Other than my desire to leave this town before its leaders cause it to collapse in on itself. Well, Fatebinder, I'm not one to speak ill of Kyros' men, but the disfavored currently control Levens Crossing. I'm not sure they're entirely qualified for the job. They keep a very stern watch over everything. No one I know is happy having them around. Now, I wouldn't normally say it, but I'd wager my last ring. The Scarlet Corps might even be better. What? They're like anarchists? They want to do shit. If you're certain you need to deal with them, the country's favorite leader in town is Vintara. However, if you need to speak to someone, I suggest you find Eldian. He is the true leader of this town. Fair, knowledgeable, and very level-headed. She points to the east beyond the river crossing through town. Both of them can be found over there. Vintara likes being outside so she can maintain control everything that's happening. Maintain control everything that's happening. Sure, Eldian is probably in his house, near where Vintara's stomping around. Alright, thank you for your time. My pleasure, Fatebinder. Alright. Let's see what we have. Ooh, a beastman. Welcome to Levens Crossing. Thank you. Aulus and Laurent. I want to loot everything. So let's do like a lap of the outskirts first. And see what we can find. So, Vintara and the other dude is over to the east. Across the river. Hopefully I can find some hidden stuff. There's a lot of doors to check out as well. There's bound to be some nice secrets to find. What is this? Moonrise Falls.
See what I see?
Yes, I do. This favorite banner on the house there. I'll take your fish. And I'll take your boxes. Ooh, that was a good haul. Does every one of these have like a name? They're districts. Ooh, Harchiand Bronze. That sounds like he might be a merchant. Probably want to talk to him. Biotis, Vetus, and Cresina. I'll leave you. Alright, I think we have everything. Oh, what's this? What does it say on the map? Sorry, Fatebinder. Bane have been spotted in growing numbers recently, so Eldian has asked us to keep watch over the old walls. I'm guessing what's the rest of that sentence said. Alright, we made a nice little loop here of the outer walls. Let's go talk to Bronze. Hopefully he's gonna have some good stuff for me. He's at a merchant stall, so it bodes well for my shopping needs. Hi there. Greetings and salutations, and welcome to Levens Crossing, home of the best merchant in the entirety of the tiers. That would be me. Oh yeah, didn't, I remember I asked, I think it was the, what was his name? The Scarlet Chorus agent, or either the Swindler maybe, at the Spire. I asked him for rumors and where I could find a good merchant. I think he actually named Harchiand Bronze. And you are the Fatebinder. I would recognize you anywhere. And with a list of deeds as long as yours, I'd be surprised if there was anyone left in the tiers who didn't. You ended the Edict of Storms at Sentinel Stand, didn't you? Now that's a tale people will be telling for years to come. I've been a merchant far more years than I care to think, and in that time, I have never heard people tell stories about someone like they do about you. Harchiand Bronze at your service. What can I do for you? Wait, a seal? What is that seal I'm talking about? An insignia. Oh, okay. From a merchant caravan that was ransacked. Oh yeah, didn't we find that? Yeah, that was ages ago though. Suspected as much. So far off the normal trading routes, but why there? Why then? Why now? Tell me about the merchants. Of course, the citadel belongs to the Hand Over Quill Merchant Company. Tell me more about them. They were once a powerful trade organization that, well, let's just say that you didn't want to get between them and the contracts. What with Tuna's new laws in the Bastard City, the Quill slunk into the shadows of Kyros' authority, trying to keep a lower profile. If you're involved in any of their dealings, stay far away. A shipment of iron weapons went missing. It was found with this seal in a house in Echocall Crossing. So remember that cranky old man who claimed that some youngsters forced him to hide that? Yeah. Suspicious, I agree. But war always has its little problems. Doesn't add up. Now, if we can return to the subject of my wares. The weapons were meant for the disfavored, and the Vendrian Guard suddenly had iron weapons. Vendrian Guard? Well, this changes things, I suppose. How so? First things first. This will come at a price. If something unfortunate took place, and my connection were traced back to me, the consequences would be costly. You know, I'm shocked to find an honest merchant like yourself engaging in illicit trade. Illicit? Whatever do you mean? Aha! That bottle! Essence of Mazenberries, a deadly poison! What bottle? There's no... Of course there's a bottle. And after you tell the authorities that I must be stashed or destroyed it, or must have stashed or destroyed it, then it's your word against mine, am I correct? Most perceptive of you. Occupational hazard. I should be used to this by now. Aha! If you breathe a word of this to anyone, I will denounce you for the liar that you are, but... I received instruction from Fifth Eye to use Hand Over Quill to deliver iron weapons to Vendrian Well Citadel. I don't question my orders, I just follow through. I don't know anything else, and that's the truth. So Fifth Eye is one of the Scarlet Chorus. Right? I think we met him. But I'd like to see your wares. Ooh, lots of purples. I like the sound of that. Ring counters seal. Plus 10% will defense. Mantle of the Mirrors. Reflect 20% of incoming hostile spells. That might actually be good for Banes. Plus 10 Subterfuge. Ooh, Sigil of Fire! And Sigil of Illusion, but I already know that one. I don't know Fire, though. Definitely want that. Sigil of Rooting. Yeah, that's probably going to be real good for crowd control. I'm not sure Bleeding is going to be good, though. Probably has a dot component to any spell I craft with it. Less recovery is always good, but that is a bit too pricey for minus 0.1 sec recovery. Although the precision, I guess. I did sell a lot of stuff off camera, so I do have some rings to toss around. A two-handed, nah. I'll take those. And let's learn Sigil of Staggering Force. Yeah. And Rooting and Fire. Nice! We now have a new fire or spell school to take care of. I also picked up an action or two. So we got a aura thing. A Mantle of Flame. We could do with that. Channeled Strength. Flash Fire. Twisting Flame. A Fireball. I do love me some fireballing action. Remember in Baldur's Gate 2, that was like my favorite spell? That was a good thing. Should I... Lore required 30. How about with Sigil of Strength 3? Lore required 70. I have 98 on Kart. I think Kart actually has a lot of fire spell skill because of his use of the fire staff for a bit. We could actually get another accent. More range? How's the range now? 8 meters. Interrupt. Enhancement. Marking. Frostfire. Yes. Frozen and Magefire Affliction. And it does both fire and frost damage? But it takes 100 lore in total. We'll save that. And get Kart that spell once he gets the remaining 2 lore required. Now, give me Osak. That's new. Sable Root. Alright, I think we're off at a good start over here in Levens Crossing. Next up, we're gonna head over to meet the leaders of Levens Crossing and find out more about the Spire, so we can claim that. However, that is gonna be a tale for another day. Hit that thumbs up, leave a comment below, and share the videos around. Everything helps out. It would be awesome if you subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for watching. I will see you guys next time.